We grew up around Joe Brown Park in New Orleans East, and my father passed away when I was 3, so my earliest memory is of him on the ground, and then I remember him dying actually, and then I remember the red carpet at the funeral, and then I remember just a lot of chaos. After that, a lot of crying and stuff. My mom provided a lot of things for me. She made sure that I had a counselor to deal with my father's death. I saw a counselor from when I was 6 to like 17 years old. Every month I saw a counselor. And that was very important for me to have somebody to talk to and really get some good guidance from. I grew up around a lot of women. So in my family, we have probably 12 women, me and my uncle, and that live in New Orleans. So when we go to my grandmother's house, it's 12 women, me and my uncle. And usually my sister, Tamika Lee, who's with Channel 4, she's the loudest one in the house. So she's the one that demands all the attention. This idea popped up. I said, look, I want to do something. I really want to help New Orleans kids. I think I might have actually saw something on NOLA.com about a murder that just happened, and I think they were young kids. So we were just tossing around ideas, and then I said, oh, well, we're going to call it the Vivian Lee Foundation after my dad. And I remember I called my mom, and she said, boy, nobody know your dad, you know, and I said, what are you talking about? You know, you play with the Saints. And she said, no, we're not going to call it that. Don't call it that. And people familiar with my dad, usually they're over maybe 60, and they saw him at Tulane Stadium and way back when the Saints first got here. But I said, all right, well, maybe let's call it Son of a Saint. And that came out. And Son of a Saint initially was just to provide support for boys who didn't have fathers, their recreational activities. So if a kid needed cleats, we'd get him cleats. If he needed a guitar, we'd get him a guitar, whatever it was. Our board member said, hey, Sonny, you got to this has to be a little deeper than this, you know, and you have to add mentorship, you have to add education, and I sat quietly for a few minutes and I said, wow, well, my life is about to change, because I knew how much time and energy it was going to take for me to make this a success. And I didn't want to do anything under 100%, right? So I sat in it for a while and I said, all right, well, let's do it. And literally for 2, maybe 3 years, because we just turned 5 years old, Son of a Saint, for 3 years, I did Son of a Saint while doing my New Orleans Jazz Institute job. So it was 2 full-time jobs. So I really don't know how I did it to this day. You could go into a classroom at a school and you can pull 5 to 10 of them, you know, that their fathers are in jail, their fathers, they don't know who their dad is, or, you know, they were lost to violence. Dealing with a lot of obstacles, you know, but has the will to want to be better and do better. And also has a good support system. When I say support, I mean mom or grandmother or aunt or uncle, somebody in their family that I can call and I know that they're going to answer the phone. I know that they're going to rehash a lot of stuff that we're teaching the boys. We had some mentors that, you know, they would come in and, you know, maybe they would do it for maybe a month and they have to hound them and say, hey, you know, come on back. And but we also had some that were just really consistent, like Lon Nichols is, you know, he's the director over there at Pinkberry, and he's amazing for us. He's our lead mentor, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. It's a long day. I get up at probably 6 o'clock. I go maybe get a workout in, so I'd say 6, and then 7 o'clock I'm rolling, and you know, answering phone calls, trying to get funding, dealing with kids at schools that may have issues there, following up with them, going to visit kids, managing mentors, and then 3, 4 o'clock the boys are coming to the clubhouse, so I've got to have food for them. So we have a chef, Chef Kenneth, that donates his time to us a couple days a week. And then I'll cook one day, and then maybe, Jimmy John sponsors some of our food. So we'll order like pizza or sandwiches or something like that for them another day. But they'll come and get counseling services, tutoring at the clubhouse. It's safe. They can get dropped off by the bus, and then we'll get them home. A lot of times it's carpooling, but my day doesn't end until probably 9 o'clock. So, and that's Monday through Thursday. The clubhouse is closed on Fridays. And then on the weekends, we always have activities. So Saturday or Sunday, we might be riding the horses. Great program at Cascade Stables. They donate all their time to us. Out of 7 of our boys in high school, 50% of those we coordinated partial or full-time scholarships to all-boy Catholic schools in New Orleans. We've gone to Montreal. We've gone out of the country. We had a board member that supported that. So it was the first time our boys got a passport, first time they were on a plane, first time they saw snow, first time on the metro. So it was a great experience. We have Deuce McAllister, who sponsors 10 of our boys, and PJ's owners, to go to adventure camp in North Carolina each summer. So that's positive. Our boys, the grades are increasing. The amount of problems at school are decreasing. We still have similar issues here and there, but for the most part, collectively, it's getting better. Our boys smile a lot more. They have a lot more confidence. They know how to look you in the eye, shake your hand. We have kids that are going to be CEOs of, could be a Fortune 500 company. We have an entrepreneur. We have a kid that loves cars. He may be a mechanic. You know what I mean? But at least he can own that mechanic shop, or an engineer, or STEM or coding, whatever it is. Or a kid that, hey, he wants to start a business like a moving company, right? It's a beautiful thing to see them grow over the time in our program and see what we're doing. It's not something that's overnight. It's not a 6-week program. It's not a year or two. Each boy is with us for 5 to 8 years. And so you can imagine coming to the clubhouse twice a week for a kid for 5 to 8 years, or being involved with our program. It's really going to have an impact on him, on his brothers and sisters, and on his mother or grandmother. So my purpose in life, I guess, is enhancing the lives of fatherless boys and really providing the opportunity for them to succeed. I'm coordinating for them. Every partnership that we make is for the boys, whatever it is, so that the boys, when they're 18 or they're 21 looking for that job, that partner, whoever we partner with, knows our organization, and they know what that kid has been through, and so that kid may be able to get the job easier. I think it's because I've had a lot of people help me out, and so I wouldn't be where I am today, having the values that I do, if it wasn't for others. And so I believe in paying it forward, and that's really the core of why I'm doing this, why we're doing this program. It takes a hit on me personally. There's certain things that I'm not at home at 5 o'clock every day. My phone goes off at 2 in the morning because it could be a mom, it could be a kid calling me, or putting out a fire at 2 in the morning. He looks just like me. He acts, he's mischievous just like I was. So it's a beautiful thing to have a boy, and it's fitting for me, the work I do. And he has big brothers in the program, which are these boys. So, and he's going to get a good mix culturally of people, because just St. Martin's demographic, but our demographic and Son of a Saint. I mean, he's going to have I guess what I'm saying is like just race-wise and culture and everything. He's going to have a big mix, and that's what I want for him to have, because that's the real world. She provided a safe environment for us, and she smiles all the time. I don't think I've ever heard her curse. I don't think I've ever heard her say mean things about anybody, and I really mean that. And she's just a great woman, and she's fair. And that's another thing I learned from her, just how to be fair. And so, you know, the warmth of having two parents, I mean, that's great, you know. Obviously, that's the ideal situation, but if you don't have that, you got to do the best with what you have. And I had some challenges growing up without having a father, you know, some decisions maybe I wasn't confident enough. When I have challenges, I just think of my father next to me. And, you know, I don't know how my father, how he talked, how he smelled, how his mannerisms. I don't know any of that. I just have a few plays of him, you know, playing football, but, you know, I have some pictures, and so I kind of envision him talking to me and saying, hey man, it's gonna be all right. Tough times don't last, tough people do. This is what your calling is. You're making me proud. You know, so that keeps me going. It feeds me.